Some people think insects are disgusting and scary. We want to help you. We want to teach you more about insects. It's important to appreciate and assist the insects in our ecosystem. When you know more, you'll be less scared and disgusted. First reason insects are important is they help us make food by pollinating many of the plants we eat.
Pollination occurs as the pollen of one flower is moved to another. Most of the time, insects move this pollen. This flower is shaped like a landing pad. The insect has to walk on the blossom to get the nectar. So this means that the pollen of the flower will get caught on the insect's abdomen and legs. The next flower is shaped like a crown. Then the insect has to put its legs and head into the blossoms to get the nectar. This means that the pollen of the flower will get caught on the insect's head and legs. We need to help insects. Insects help flowering plants reproduce. This gives us food to eat.
Next, let's take a look at some special features of insects. These features make insects unique and interesting, which will help you to appreciate them.
There are many types of insect species, and each one is unique, but there are only two major types of life cycles. Each insect either has a simple or complete life cycle. The simple life cycle has 3 stages: egg, nymph, and adult. The praying mantis is one of the insects that has a simple life cycle. A unique feature of its egg stage is that the praying mantis can lay up to 400 eggs at a time. The eggs are all in a single case attached to a flower stem. The life cycle of the monarch butterfly is quite different from the praying mantis, with a complete life cycle that has 4 stages: egg, larval, pupal, and adult. The pupal stage is amazing. The monarch butterfly caterpillar makes a cocoon and stays in it for weeks. When it emerges, it is a beautiful butterfly. The monarch butterfly is incredible because it travels all the way to Mexico in the fall, and then in the spring all the way back to Maine and other northern states. Now we need to look at how these amazing insects have adapted to their environments and what they have in common. Insects have a head, thorax, abdomen, and 6 jointed legs. Many insects can share the same ecosystem because each kind of insect has different physical features called adaptations. Let's look at the legs, for example. All insects' legs have femurs and tibias. However, they are different for each insect. For example, the soldier beetle has tibias to hook and grab onto objects and to help walk on rough surfaces. Insect adaptations have developed over time. The praying mantis, a meadow and grassland dweller, walks on its 2 hind legs, either on ground or a leaf. Insects have also adapted to the plants and their habitats and can be very picky. All animals need nutrients and energy, and they either get these from plants or other animals who have already eaten plants. This is called a food web, and it relies heavily on insects because so many animals eat insects. This being true, anything that happens to our native plants, such as spraying pesticides or introducing a new non-native plant, which will compete for natural resources, will wipe out not only the plant, but the insect that needs the plant as well. Native plants have been in their ecosystem so long that all native insects have adapted to eating those plants. So if non-native plants overtake the native ones, it is harmful because the native creatures have none of the nutrients they need. Humans have taken up so much of the natural spaces in the world to build cities and farms. Some things we can do to give some habitat back are planting native plants in our backyards and in our parks. By doing this, we can help repair the damage that people in the past have caused. Without our help, ecosystems will be ruined. Because insects need native plants to shelter and provide food for them in all stages of their lives. Invasive plants and habitat loss are not the only difficulties insects face. They also have to worry about climate change.
What if all insects died? People think of this as a shallow question, but it is not. One main contributor to the tragic death of insects is climate change. Climate change is a natural and gradual variation of a planet's overall temperature. CO2 levels in Earth's atmosphere trap the sun's heat, impacting the warming or cooling of the planet. It throws off the entire planet's ecosystem. when humans burn fossil fuels and pour CO2 into the atmosphere more quickly than is normal. The more rapid the change, the worse the effect on both animals and plants. Although the Canada swallowtail is not directly impacted by climate change, its host plants, such as the paper birch tree, dislike warmer temperatures. They will migrate to the places that are native to the plants they need, but end up throwing off the balance of the plants, animals, and insects in the new location. Another way that temperature change impacts insects is reproduction. In the case of the yellow jacket, more vulnerable in cold weather, they can produce more eggs in a warmer spring, which throws off the balance of the food web. To reduce climate change, you can walk or bike when possible to limit the amount of exhaust from your car. For most butterfly species, climate change seems to be a stronger change agent than habitat loss, says Greg Breed of the Massachusetts Butterfly Club. This is unsurprising, seeing the awful effect climate change has on butterflies, as well as other important species to an area. Insect species are being wiped out from pesticides and climate change. We should care because they give us the food that we eat. Perhaps we could salvage a bit of the biodiversity the planet has lost. We all need the other species on the planet to create the resources that we use to survive. A few ways you can personally assist these insects in your own backyard include using predatory insects rather than pesticides, which kill insects that we need. Leave leaf litter in the fall, because it protects both insects and plants for the winter. And pollinator gardens should be planted to assist nectar-loving insects.